All right, so here's the inside. I had a bunch of most of this car is built with leftovers from other builds and just stuff I had lying around and cheap stuff. So I had some kill mat lying around and I put a bunch of squares of it everywhere just to kind of dampen the noise. And then I got this Reflectix from Home Depot and sprayed it with some 3M adhesive and stuck that all to the floor because this car doesn't have AC. So I'm trying to keep this thing as cool as possible in the summer heat. And let me get a flashlight. I'll start showing you the wiring. It's still a little bit of a mess in there. I got to gaff a lot of these wires to the floor and route them a little bit better. That in the back, all that mound of wiring is all for the AFR 500 for my wideband. So that's going to go. The wiring around the shifters for the heated seats. So this is what I said when I have everything tucked in there. The ECU is tucked in there. The Dakota Digital control box is in there. My auxiliary fuse box is in there, and the TCM is up there. Everything's all mounted, and let me get in there a little bit better. So it's a mess. I mean, it's the best I could do with routing everything. One of the problems is that you could see there's like bundles of wire. The bundles are just because a lot of these kits come with a lot of excess wire depending on where you're running things because they're universal. So I just, I'm not gonna like shorten. I shortened a lot of stuff. I pruned out a lot of stuff from the Hellcrate harness that I wasn't using, but I wasn't gonna shorten every harness on this thing. It would have taken forever. So I just zip tied them up, bundle them up, zip tie them under there. So it's actually not as bad as it looks. It's just a lot of that excess wire is kind of cluttering everything up there. But everything else fit back in, the vent doors, all the wiring for the nut coolers down here, I like to call them, the temperature control for the heater box, everything fits, everything works. You can see here I have this bar that goes across the bottom. So I welded this in because NHRA would want you to use a tube steel for that, but I don't actually require it because for an 8.5 cert, I don't have a modified firewall, so I don't even need this bar, but I just like it. It's peace of mind for me. It's nice to tie those two bars together up front, and I didn't want the tube because it would have been just too little clearance for my legs and everything. So I welded this up out of 1/8 rectangle stock. It's plenty strong, and it actually gave me some nice mounting points for a lot of things that would have been hard to mount otherwise, like the ECU. I don't know if you can even tell, but there's like aluminum brackets going down. Let me see if I can get in there. So you see there, it's like aluminum brackets that go down to that, and the ECU kind of sits on them. So it's all mounted in there. And then I'll get under here and we'll show you that's the power distribution module from Mopar. That's basically the fuse box, the engine fuse box. This is the junction block that I have for my alternator cable and starter cable extension and everything to get everything back under here. And this is where the power wire comes in from the battery in the trunk. This is where the power goes out. This is just a fusible link for the American Auto Wire harness for the body harness, and that's under here in the factory location. If you could see that, that's a nice piece. The whole American Auto Wiring kit was awesome. The classic update kit and their tech help is great as well. I got everything LEDs now, so I got the 2 electronic flashers under there. You can see I fit this flat screen radio in. I still have to make and fill in the bezel piece and some of the plastic trim pieces. It's a Sony, I think it's Sony. It's like a double DIN, but it's got a single DIN chassis, so I was able to cut out and then weld up some brackets, and it worked pretty good. I got the Dakota Digital dash. You can see my light panel is a non-rally, but my dash is rally. That's just the way this car has always been since I got it. I think the rally light panel is like $300 on eBay, so I'm probably not going to get that anytime soon. You got over there, I got my auxiliary gauges mounted to the bottom of the cage dash bar. I rebuilt the steering column, so everything's looking pretty good. Under there, you can see I have the drive-by wire pedal that I mounted to like a little plate that I welded up, little like wedge plate. And that's pretty much it for the inside. You can see I got the subwoofer in the back, and I got 2 kicker speakers back there. The subwoofer was funny. I was going crazy trying to figure out why it wasn't working, and I bought it for like $50 at AutoZone. Like I said, I'm kind of going cheap with this project, and I ended up opening up the sub, and somebody cut the wires. It looks like they must have blown their subwoofer out, swapped it for this one, and put their old one back in the box and returned it. But I already drilled the box and it fit perfect, so I just used it as an excuse to upgrade, and I put a nicer kicker sub in there. So now it sounds really, really good. That's like, I really didn't want to add the weight, but it's over the rear wheels, so I'm pretty happy with it. Let me get you to the trunk of the car next.